Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt. She may be the best press secretary in the history of the White House. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt, I pronounced her name wrong at first, she was confronting reporters, talking to them, giving them answers. And, she's not one to play around with this nonsense with these liberal reporters who try to use these gotcha questions. And she was explaining why there's a police presence and a National Guard presence right now in Los Angeles because of all the unrest going on in that city. And then one reporter comes to her and says, well, would Trump send the National Guard and the Marines in for a peaceful protest? Yeah, that was the question that was asked. I wanted to give you a second to absorb that, because that was a real question asked by a real reporter in the White House press briefing room. That's a real question. So, of course, Karoline Leavitt responded in only the way she can. She smacked the reporter down, humiliated the reporter, and the reporter needed to be humiliated because the question was ridiculous. I want you guys to watch this and let me know what you think in the comments.
Not clear at this point. How does the president view this issue?
The president has spoken on this. He said, as he calls it, he believes Ukraine was always the apple of Putin's eye. And he made it very clear to Putin in his first term not to invade Ukraine. Putin didn't invade Ukraine because of President Trump's peace through strength foreign policy agenda and the effective deterrence policies that he implemented in the first term. Unfortunately, because of the weakness and incompetence of the previous administration, Vladimir Putin made the decision to invade Ukraine, and now we have this brutal war which the president is working very hard to end. Jasmine.
Thanks so much, Caroline. The president warned that any protests on Saturday would be met with force. Can you clarify what kind of protest President Trump does support or find acceptable?
The president absolutely supports peaceful protests. He supports the First Amendment. He supports the right of Americans to make their voices heard. He does not support violence of any kind. He does not support assaulting law enforcement officers who are simply trying to do their job. It's very clear for the president what he supports and what he does not. Unfortunately for Democrats, that line has not been made clear, and they've allowed this unrest and this violence to continue, and the president has had to step in.
What question? So if there were peaceful protests on Saturday for the military parade, President Trump would allow that?
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question. Raquel.
Thank you so much, Caroline.
Raquel, and then I can go to you, Francis. Go.
Thank you so much, Caroline. I have two questions. One about Israel. Yesterday, the